Hello viewers, before we begin I have something to tell you. On the flight over here to Canada, unfortunately my bags were lost and the source of my power, the Cash Money Cathro Vision hat, is not here. We have found a poverty replacement, but I have to admit it's just not quite as good. So in an effort to cheer me up, my camera operator and future wifey, she's picked out an outfit for me and we've gone for extra stylish and tried to keep in the professional tone that these videos usually have. So may I introduce, it is Walmart clearance chic. Hello and welcome to Cathro Vision, the daily video series looking at all the behind the scenes insight, technical analysis from the 2019 Mountain Bike World Cup season and World Champs, because that's where we are this week. We are here at Mont Saint Anne, Canada for the World Championships, and that's different from the World Cup series because the World Cup series, 8 rounds over the year, whoever has the most points at the end of it wins. World Champs, one event, one chance, one race run, and the winner becomes the world champion. So what's new coming into World Champs? Well, anyone remember Maarten Mees, Belgian rider, amazing enduro racer, turned up at 2 World Cups last year and almost won them? He's back, he's racing World Champs this weekend. I'm super excited to see if he can pull out another blinder at this one. Maybe he could win. It'll be interesting to see. Another rider we're going to see again for the first time in a while is Aaron Gwin. After stretching out his AC joints on both shoulders, he is rehabbed, recovered, he's got a fresh new fancy looking bike and he is going to be racing this weekend. What I'm interested to see though is he going to be 29er or is he going to be mixer? Because I know Jeff Stever's been knocking up a few prototype back ends. Yeah, I'll be intrigued to see which one he uses this weekend. Another rider back on a bike is Tahnée Seagrave. She did her AC joint back at round 2 in Fort William, start of the year. So she has been rehabbing all through the season and is now going to be back on a bike for the first time at this round. She's been on the bench for a long time, so I'm sure she is absolutely fired up and ready to go and definitely will be a contender for winning this weekend. Someone that's not going to be a contender for the women's podium this weekend is Nina Hoffmann. She had a training injury, she crashed and injured her shoulder. I think she tore her AC joint and unfortunately we're not going to see her this weekend. So it seems like downhill every season's a shoulder season. Boo. You're so straight-faced. Just concentrate so hard. So we're about to go and walk the track. It is just behind us. Before I do, have to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsor, Slick Graphics. They are a family-owned and rider-run business that have been operating for over 12 years. They specialize in custom quality graphics with guaranteed color matching service. If you order a color match graphic and they don't match, they'll send you new ones free of charge. They have custom graphics on a lot of the pros bikes and I actually have them on my own bike in beautiful stealth black. Looks so rad. They focus on really quick turnaround and they're going to do you viewers at home 20% off on any of their products. So use code CATHRO20, this code here, CATHRO20, make your purchase before midnight on Sunday to get your sweet discount. So with that, thank you to Slick Graphics and let's go check out this track. So the classic Mont Saint Anne start ramp still here, it's still really steep and do you reckon I could run up it? I feel like I could.
3, 2, 1. This looks promising. He's going. He's there. He grasps the top lip and finally makes it. Colin Curran into the semi-finals of Gladiator.
Down the start ramp, classic first turn, and it does the weird through the restaurant across its like flipping lunch area and then dives down into the woods. So coming into this bit at the end of the boardwalk, riders used to take off on the edge and land really near the bottom. And now they've built this little kicker at the start just to float you in over the top and hopefully means you can hit it quicker and not land too deep. This first wooded section with all the rocks and roots, there's nothing major in terms of line choice, but there's loads of little rocks, roots and things that can slow you down. So what riders will look to do is try and take the smoothest line they can find, but also think about where to jump to clear the little obstacles. So just here, nasty root, nasty rock, riders are definitely going to be jumping over them, get to that smooth bit. After traversing across that first wooded section, we get to the first line change on the track. Actually, come with me, come down a bit. So this bit's totally different The pole marker here last year was like here, or maybe a bit further down, but they've opened up this new inside that's just straightening this section round. Gap over that compression, and it's just like pure speed into that next turn. Straight as fast. The next sections of the track work their way down the open piste. This area is littered with rocky protrusions that are just waiting to pinch your tyres. Some of the corners have lots of line choice like this bad boy. Fully outside with plenty of support, slightly inside catching the edge of the berm, sneaky middle line following your own unique rut, or fully inside over that drop. I'm thinking absolutely ploughing around that outside is going to be hard to beat. After that we continue to meander down the hill, some more chunky rocks, then this beauty of a feature.
Sorry, I was just doing the track in my head. Give me a minute!
Let's do a porn one, no?
So this is one of my favourite features on the whole track. It's called the shark fin. Pretty much it's a berm and a jump. So riders are coming off of this, big old lean angle on, and then they got a pull to clear this gap, but there's a vicious rock you do not want to hit. Hit that. That is weekend over. Your wheel is toast. So you got to make sure you can jump far enough. Such a cool feature. Wow. This is something Montagnana is famous for, among many things, is the massive high-speed straights. I mean, look, we got like 300 meters of just pure unadulterated straight line. So no brakes, speed torque, pedal, flat out. Riders will be hitting, I think the record last year was like 78 kilometers an hour. And this isn't even the big one. This is the mellow straight. So let's keep going down, see what else we got in store, and we'll find that really fast straight. So after that high speed section, you've got this little bus stop, and I was using this term back in Andorra, and it pretty much means a bit of track that deviates off the main line and then rejoins again. So the piste goes straight down the hill and it just nips off the piste into this little bus stop. We've got a drop, and it's pretty big. I'm actually making it, I think I'm making it look a too small. Let's swap. There we go. Take off up there and down there. You like it?
No.
No. You gonna do it?
Too high.
Too high. After the bus stop, riders dive into the main wooded section. The dirt here is absolutely perfect, but the rocks are vicious with no obvious smooth lines. So this bit in here is pretty filthy. Just here there's like a step drop, and it used to be taller, but they've taken the edge off. Before you used to be able to pull up and gap to after the next rocks onto that smooth dirt, but now without that lip, I don't know if it can happen. So riders are probably going to have to push through or take an inside line. I don't know, I feel like they tried to make it easier but actually ended up making it harder. After that section, riders get a small rest before tackling a serious feature. This awkward entry leads you into a narrow rock step down. You have to get the corner mint to clear, and the landing is horrendously rough. Proper tricky feature. So like we are checking out the track, and you are defending champion from last year and also track winner from this race last year. Are you confident?
I don't know, it's hard to explain right now. The feeling is a bit weird because we've been having a pretty crazy World Cup season and we're still not done with it compared to the previous years where World Champs was at the very end. So I'm trying to focus only on that race and make it special, you know, even though we still have a race after, and it's like it's part of the pack, but it's still different because the winner here will have a World Champ title, and it won't be good for the overall points or whatever. So I feel confident from the previous year and stuff, but every year is different, and I'm actually trying to stay calm instead of overdoing it. So we'll see.
Cool. All right. Good luck.
Cheers, man.
So it's taken about a third of the track to actually find a proper change. So we've had a few different lines, pulls in a few different places, but now we're taking a different route. It's not a big change. The track last year went down there, down the left. But that was a pretty fast and pretty sketchy section, so they've been thinking, oh, let's mix it up, we'll slow it down. We're going to take it up here. Tighter entrance into these next rocks. It's going to give the riders a bit more to think about, it's going to be a bit trickier to carry the speed, and it's change, and change is good. Ooh, it's a gnarly bit. Gnarly.
Shit.
This corner is officially the worst on the hill. You have to come round this tree, down where the guys are standing, and corner on the chunkiest rocks you have ever seen. It is filthy in there. Seriously, these things are horrible and it makes this corner really hard for carrying speed. If you want to sacrifice a little bit of entrance speed though, you can sneak down the inside here, but it does make the corner tighter and it's probably not as fast. Once you negotiate that awkward piece, you then get deep into some even chunkier rocks before plopping back out into the piste. Earlier I was talking about Mont Saint Anne being famous for its high-speed straights. This is the main one. And one thing I didn't say was last weekend was the Masters World Champs. They raced on this track, but they didn't go down here, they went in there. So the Masters maybe couldn't handle the high speed, or they were worried some of the old boys might detonate if they get over 80 kilometers an hour down here. Some people are talking about no braking this, which is insane. Like, I cannot understand how people can go that fast down here. But yeah, that corner at the bottom is seriously quick. I'd be dragging my brakes the whole way down this. Nice bit of comfort braking. The dirt so far has been beautiful, kind of hard packed with a little bit of give. Out here in the open, we got some sandy powder. So riders are going to get so loose down this fast straight. I reckon by the end of the weekend though, we're going to be seeing a lot of this everywhere on track. Once you've filled your pants in that fast bit, you then negotiate a couple grassy turns, then drop into what was last year's new section. A loose rocky straight into a super tight corner that caught out a few racers last year. So this is the classic line everyone was doing last year, but adventurous few were jumping from here to there where Kev was stood, because you had to jump. These rocks Kev stood on, they weren't there, they filled this in. So they've made this line easier, which I'm a wee bit bummed about because I liked how hard this line was, because only a few were getting it really good. So that just means everyone's going to be flat out through here, no problems.
Easy.
Once you negotiate that tricky turn, you then hoof off this super steep rocky roller. It is now officially known as Caterpillar Rock thanks to this little chunker.
Oh, that is a big dog. Wait.
Nice, eh? So this is the stuff that I think of when I think Mont Saint Anne. Big jumps, flat out underneath the gondola. When I was a kid, before I came to a race here, this is what I was really excited to ride. Looks sick. Let's go down, we're going to check out Stevie Smith's wall. So this is Stevie Smith's memorial drop, and it is impossible to explain how steep this is, but when you walk up to the edge of it, you can't even see the face of it until you're right on the edge. And it used to be riders had to drop off of here to dirt. Hey Valley, what were you saying happened last year in this when you land in the hole?
Well, you just like bottomed out and hit your ankle and your head on the bar and everything, and then you just try to get into the next corner.
And now there's a big old ramp. It's going to make things smoother, but if you don't gap it, that's not going to be pretty. So you have to gap from up here down to the ramp. Then you can go inside or outside, that's up to you. Negotiate that cleanly and you skip over these rocks and motor off down the next section, which is bone dry, but last year was a colossal mud pit. So after the section that opened underneath that gondola, flat out, so fast, loads of room, a few different lines going on, we head down here into what is the most violent, vicious, rocky bit of track. This is the Mont Saint Anne Rock Garden. This is the Mont Saint Anne Rock Garden Woods, and as you can see, it's rather violent. And David Vasquez has been out with his little orange rattle can and he's sprayed off all those sharp edges, so it'll really like come out in the vision and you'll spot them and just ride straight into them and wreck both of your wheels. So what riders have to do in this kind of stuff is it's part line choice and part pressure, and by pressure I mean where you put pressure into the bike. You want to be pressuring the wheels where it's smoother, going light on the wheels where there's nasty edges, and getting that timing right is crucial. Also, it wouldn't go amiss to have about 3 sets of wheels ready-made with tyres, and I'd probably stick a couple Cush cores in there and maybe throw a flat tyre defender in there as well. Just fill it up with foam because the air's not going to stay in. Rocky Woods done, riders then pop out into a small section in the open before one of my favourite bits, the final woods. So this was a really interesting bit of woods last year, lots went on. Just on the entrance is the Brooke McDonald Wrecking Ball section, that was where he came flipping tumbling on through. And then here, something interesting going on. Notice fresh dirt. Then look over there and see a borrow pit. So what's happened is they put a bit of dirt in to make this a bit smoother, but why would they do that? Could it possibly be because they want people to get a good pump and then speed to do this? Yep. Menards Gap. Oh! One, we got more speed coming in. Two, that stump that Menard ripped out last year is gone. And three, they've actually smoothed out the landing as well. Come over. See the orange rocks? The back side of that, if you zoom in, look at that. That is smooth. We got a landing. So guaranteed, we're gonna see someone jump to here this weekend. Might actually make this a wee bit quicker because we found out last year that that line was actually faster. I think this could be on. Menard Huck done, riders get a moment to switch the brain off and get ready for the final section. Big berm with an outside and inside into a step up followed by the final patch of rocks. So this is the last tricky rocky section on the track. And Vasquez has been out with this rattle can again, and the rule is wherever there's orange, don't go there. I remember being a fan of the right hand line gapping over the last orange point. I mean, different track, different year. We don't know what's going to work, but there are a few lines in here. Finally, if you can still hold on, you send this big step down into a massive double before crossing the line. So that is the Mont Sainte Anne World Champs track. There's not as many changes as I thought there was going to be, and I felt like I was missing out on a bit of my powers without the cash money hat, but yeah, it's still, gotta remind yourself, this is Mont Sainte Anne. It doesn't matter what the track is doing, it's going to be fast, it's going to be exciting, and there's going to be some lines for me to look at, so stay tuned for more Cathro Vision videos coming tomorrow, the next day and the next. We've got an extra day this week, so I'm even going to get to film some cross country for you. Hit like if you enjoyed Tina's filming, subscribe if you want to see those videos that are coming up, and we'll see you in the next video. But don't forget, after any slick graphics, Cathro 20% off, there's a link for them down in the description. Go get some bling graphics for your bike, because you're worth it or something. Cool, see you tomorrow.
I'm gonna keep recording.
Yeah. Oh, did you say?
Do you want me to keep recording?
No.
I'm gonna say